Only 3 out of every 100 retired households in America actually have $1 million sitting in their retirement accounts. That number probably doesn't match what you'd expect. Everyone talks like 7 figures is the new normal, like half the country is quietly sitting on a fortune by the time they stop working. It's not even close. And once you see why, the whole picture of retirement in this country starts to look different. So let's get into who actually gets there, why so few do, and why hitting that number still matters more than people think. My name is Nathan, and I spend way too much time thinking about how I can retire early. Please show support for the channel and hit the subscribe button. It really helps, and it means a lot. First, let's be clear about what we're counting. We're talking about money in places like a 401k, an IRA, or a Roth IRA, the accounts you can actually pull from once you retire. We're not counting your house, your car, or anything else that isn't easy to turn into cash. Those things might be worth a lot on paper, but they don't pay your electric bill. A retirement account is built to do exactly that, so that's what we're measuring. Sure, some people have a side business, or a rental property, or something tucked away that adds to their net worth, but that's not most people. So we're keeping this simple and sticking to retirement savings alone. With that in mind, here's the real number. About 3% of retired households have $1 million or more saved up. 3 out of 100. And this is per household, not per person. So if you're married and your combined accounts add up to 7 figures, you count. If you're single, it's just your own savings. This comes from the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, which is one of the most reliable sources we have on how much Americans actually save. Now, here's the number that puts things in perspective. The median retirement savings across every age group is around $87,000. That means half of all households have less than that saved for the rest of their lives. It's not nothing, but it's a starting point, not something you can retire on. And it doesn't get dramatically better with age either. Households in their late 50s and early 60s, people who are close to walking away from work for good, have a median balance of around $185,000. Using the common 4% rule, that's roughly $7,400 a year in retirement income. That's it. At that point, there isn't much time left for the money to grow on its own. So what happens next? People work longer than they planned. They lean harder on Social Security. They downsize, not because they want to, but because the math doesn't leave many other options. Here's the part that trips people up though. Home prices keep climbing. Stocks keep climbing. Wages have gone up too. So shouldn't hitting $1 million be easier now than it's ever been? It's a fair question, but it misses something important. Inflation cuts both ways. Yes, your investments might be worth more, but rent, groceries, gas, and healthcare all cost more too, which makes it harder to actually set money aside in the first place. You can be disciplined and still feel like you're running in place. So even though $1 million should theoretically be more common by now, it's actually getting harder to reach in a lot of ways, not easier. Let's talk about what that money actually gives you once you have it. Using the 4% guideline, a $1 million portfolio produces around $40,000 a year before taxes, adjusted for inflation. On its own, that's decent, not incredible. But add in Social Security, which averages around $24,000 a year per person, and a single retiree is looking at roughly $64,000 a year. A couple could be closer to $88,000. That changes the picture completely. And housing is the variable that decides how far that goes. If your mortgage is paid off, or you live somewhere affordable, that income stretches a long way. The average household spends close to $80,000 a year, but that includes families with kids and bigger expenses. Retired households typically spend closer to $60,000. So for a lot of people, $1 million plus Social Security isn't just enough, it's comfortable. It's the kind of number that lets you stop checking your bank account every time something unexpected comes up. Now let's talk about how people actually get there, because this is where it gets interesting. Say you're just starting out, and your retirement account has about $40,000 in it. At that stage, $1 million feels like a made-up number, something other people reach, not you. You're putting in $400 a month, and it barely feels like it's moving the needle. Here's what most people don't realize at that stage. Growth doesn't show up early. It hides. If $40,000 grows by 10% in a good year, that's $4,000, barely noticeable. But once an account crosses 400,000, that same 10% adds $40,000 without anyone lifting a finger. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill. The first few feet take everything you've got, but once it's rolling on its own, momentum does most of the work for you. By the time someone is closing in on $1 million, the market itself is adding more to the account in a good year than their entire salary. Nothing about the math changed. What changed is the size of what they're working with. The middle years are the hardest part, honestly. That's the stretch where the account grows slowly. Nothing exciting happens, and it's tempting to think the extra contribution won't make a difference anyway. Most people who give up on saving give up right there, in the boring middle, long before the boulder ever picks up speed. So the milestone can feel like it happens overnight, but it never really does. It's built on years of showing up, contributing when it felt pointless, and not touching the account when things got rough. And that's really what $1 million represents. It's not about buying something fancy. It's about not lying awake, wondering how you'll cover a surprise medical bill or a car repair. It's the freedom to spend your time the way you actually want to, whether that's traveling, picking up a hobby, or just having fewer things to worry about. So if you've hit that number, or you're getting close, don't shrug it off just because people say $1 million doesn't go as far as it used to. Getting there usually means saying no to things for years, staying invested when the market dropped and everyone around you was panicking, choosing to keep contributing instead of upgrading your car or your lifestyle. It's not luck. It's hundreds of small decisions that add up over decades. And that's exactly why only 3 out of 100 people ever get to say they made it. It's not that the other 97 couldn't do the math. It's that sticking with something boring for 30 years is a lot harder than it sounds. If this video helped you, share it with a friend or two. Please show your support and subscribe to the channel. It really helps, and it means a lot.